Hello, welcome to Astronautics for Exploit. This is Dr. Ayeshola Ogundele. Lunar Ring, a strip of lunar solar panels on the lunar equator to power the Earth. The focus points of my presentation are as follows: Lunar Ring concept, lunar equator and lunar solar cells, teleguided lunar construction robots, and power transmission via microwave and laser technology. Today, several government space agencies, private space companies, and universities are aiming for the moon to tap its abundant natural resources. One of the reasons behind the gold rush for the moon is the quest to find alternative and unlimited clean energy sources for the Earth. By the year 2050, it has been projected that global energy usage will rise to terawatts of energy, and as a result, alternative means of generating power is being investigated. One of the alternatives is the use of lunar solar power. Unlike the case of space-based solar power systems positioned in Earth orbit, the use of lunar-based solar power system is advantageous in the sense that all the materials needed for building solar cells, microwave generation, and transmission equipment, and a host of others are present on the moon. Lunar ring solar power concept, a concept that consists of solar panels and generators mounted across the moon equator for the generation and transmission of solar power to the Earth, involves the construction of a concrete ring on the moon's equator for the support of the solar panels. The idea entails placing the solar panels on the concrete layer and connecting to the power transmitting stations, which can then beam the solar power to the Earth via either microwave or laser transmission technique. The proposed concept stated that the transmitted energy is to be captured by the power receiving stations positioned at the strategic locations on the Earth. Lunar ring concept. In a bid to be able to harness solar energy on a larger scale than almost any previously proposed concept, a concept of lunar ring is being proposed by the Semishu Corporation. The plan involves building a belt of solar cells around the moon's 6,800 miles, about 11,000 kilometers equator, converting the electricity to powerful microwaves and lasers to be beamed into the Earth, and finally converting the beams back to electricity at terrestrial power stations. Illustration of solar power plant on the moon to provide clean energy is shown in this picture. The solar power is to be transmitted to the Earth from the side of the moon that always faces the Earth. It is envisioned that robots will play a vital role in building the lunar ring. The robots are planned to be teleoperated 24 hours a day from the Earth. The robots will perform tasks such as ground leveling and assembling machines and equipment, which will be done in space before landing them on the moon. A team of astronauts will support the robots on site. The picture here shows the near side of the moon, from where energy will be beamed to the Earth, according to the Lunar Ring project. Lunar Equator. Solar cells are planned to be lined up on the lunar equator. The lunar equator is the circular plane that travels through the moon's center of gravity and is perpendicular to the rotational axis and intersects the moon's surface. The picture here shows the transmission of energy from the moon to the Earth. Sunlight from the sun impinges on the moon's side, that is, the side facing sunlight will really receive the solar energy. Then the side facing the Earth will transmit the energy through microwaves or laser beams onto the Earth. Advantages of lunar ring concept. One of the main advantages of the lunar ring is that since the moon has virtually no atmosphere, there's no bad weather or clouds that could inhibit the efficiency of the solar panels. The lunar ring has the potential of achieving 24/7 continuous clean energy generation, potentially ending human reliance on limited natural resources. Illustration of solar power in space is shown in this picture. Lunar Equator and lunar solar cells. The moon, as natural satellite, orbits the Earth in the prograde direction and completes one revolution relative to the vernal equinox and the stars in about 27.32 days, a tropical month and sidereal month, and one revolution relative to the sun in about 29.53 days, a synodic month. Earth and the moon orbit about their pericenter, that is the common center of mass, which lies about 4,670 kilometers from Earth's center, forming a satellite system called the Earth-Moon system. The picture here shows apsidal precession, the major axis of Moon's elliptical orbit, which rotates by one complete revolution once every 8.85 years in the same direction as the Moon's rotation itself. Moon phases. The Moon is set apart from the other objects by the changes in its appearance. It goes through various phases. The phases of the Moon take 29.5 days to go through an entire cycle. On average, the distance to the Moon is about 385,000 kilometers from Earth's center, which corresponds to about 60 Earth radii or 1.282 light seconds. The picture here shows animation of the Moon as it cycles through its phases. The apparent wobbling of the Moon is known as libration. Celestial sphere. With a mean orbital velocity of 1.022 kilometers per second, the Moon covers a distance approximately its diameter, or about half a degree on the celestial sphere, each hour. The Moon differs from most satellites of other planets in that its orbit is close to the ecliptic plane instead of to its prime race, that is the Earth's equatorial plane. The Moon's orbital plane is inclined by about 5.1 degrees with respect to the ecliptic plane, whereas the Moon's equatorial plane is tilted by only 1.5 degrees. The picture here shows Earth and Moon system. The rotational axis of the Moon is not perpendicular to its orbital plane, so the lunar equator is not in the plane of its orbit, but is inclined to it by a constant value of 6.688 degrees. The angle between the ecliptic and the lunar equator is always 1.4543 degrees, even though the rotational axis of the Moon is not fixed with respect to the stars. The picture here shows Moon phases by latitude. Solar power generation. The lunar ring proposal involves the use of a group of solar cells that will extend around the 11,000 kilometers of the lunar equator and range in width from a few kilometers to 400 kilometers at the widest point. They will continuously generate solar power. Self-propelled solar cell production plant idea is put forward. The idea is that the plant will move as it produces solar cells from lunar resources and installs them. The picture here shows functionality of remote microgrids in Earth's environment. Due to the massive amount of solar panels and other materials needed for the project, Symetra proposes that lunar resources should be used. The complex plans call for producing water by reducing lunar soil with hydrogen imported from the Earth. Lunar resources could also be used to make cementing material and concrete, while solar heat treatment could help produce bricks, glass fibers, and other structural materials needed for the project. The picture here shows vision of an international research base on the Moon. Teleguided lunar construction robots. The teleguided lunar construction robots have been planned to play a prominent role in the building of lunar power plant and lunar surface construction. The robots will be remote controlled from the Earth. This is to enable 24-hour operation. The picture here shows illustration of how the sun produces electromagnetic radiation that can be harnessed as useful energy. Moon surveys. Working on the moon will require the presence of humans, and the work will be performed jointly by a few team members and robots. Machinery models transported from the Earth will be assembled in orbit, lowered to the surface of the moon, and then installed. The picture here shows concept of a lunar base. Power transmission via microwave and laser technology. According to the proposal of Lunar Ring, a power transmission base will be stationed on the Earth-oriented side of the moon's surface. When solar light shines on the other side of the moon, this cable will transmit power to the transmission base. Two types of technology that are proposed for the transmission of energy to the Earth are microwave transmission technology and laser beam transmission technology. The picture here shows concept art of an efficient lunar mining facility. Microwave transmission antenna. Energy will be transmitted to a power reception antenna on Earth from a transmission antenna that is 20 kilometers in diameter. A wireless Earth-based guide beacon will be used to ensure accurate transmission. A laser beam of high energy density will be generated from sunlight. An Earth-based guide beacon will be used to ensure accurate transmission. Illustration of a proposed industry base for mining water and producing propellant at a lunar pole featuring crew habitats, robotics, and industrial equipment is shown in this picture. Transport route on the lunar equator. The transport route is designed to be used to transport materials necessary for construction and maintaining the lunar power plant. A power transmission cable will be installed beneath the transport route. The picture here shows a moon-based concept of the demonstration of remote construction. For more information, contact Astronautics for Exploit. You've been watching and listening to Lunar Ring, a strip of lunar solar panels on the lunar equator to power the Earth, with the focus points Lunar Ring concept, lunar equator and lunar solar cells, teleguided lunar construction robots, and power transmission via microwave and laser technology, presented by Dr. Ayoshola Ogundele, Astronautics for Exploit. Thank you.